Let me guess, when you think of core exercises, you're thinking planks, dead bugs, and bird dogs. While those are all great exercises, there is one missing piece that we want to talk about, and that is rotational core exercises. So we're going to go through some of those together today. Hi, I'm Catherine. I'm the personal trainer and running coach at Kathletics. Here at Kathletics, we're all about meeting you where you are in your fitness so you can approach hybrid training in a sustainable way. While planks, dead bugs, and bird dogs are all excellent exercises and ones that I recommend regardless of where you're at in your fitness journey, whether it's your day 1 or day 587, but we want to make sure that we're doing more than just anti-rotation exercises. So anti-rotation means that we're staying nice and strong in the core and that we're avoiding moving from side to side. So in a bird dog, for example, when you're on all fours and you reach out opposite limbs, you do not want to rotate or curve one way or the other, right? So this is an anti-rotation exercise because we're keeping the core stable and we're not rotating. And again, while this is an excellent exercise, we also want to make sure that we're rotating so we can keep and mobilize the thoracic spine as well as getting into the obliques. So one of the more common exercises that you've probably heard of or perhaps seen before is a wood chop. Now you can do this with a cable machine, you can do this with a resistance band, you can also do this with a dumbbell. So wood chops are going to look like keeping your toes facing forward. You're going to be rotating away from the post and then bringing it back to center. What we don't want to see is that we're behind like this and you're having to pull next to your body here. You want it to be lined up so your hands are in line with that resistance before we rotate. Another example of a rotational exercise that I like to program is a side plank, but we're going to add rotation. So a side plank itself is actually an anti-rotation. As we talked about earlier, if we just hold here, this is anti-rotation because we're not allowing the body to rotate down or up. Well, now we are. So we're going to rotate by reaching through the keyhole and then reaching back up. What we don't want to do is keep rotating all the way back and lose our balance, right? So we want to stop at the top here, come back down to rotate those hips, and then bring it right back up to the ceiling. I like to program this one with a band, especially for my postpartum clients, because it helps get that thoracic mobility back into action. Another plank variation that you could take into consideration is getting into a tall plank. So your shoulders are right over your wrists and you're going to extend your legs back. Now from here, you're going to rotate your body up toward the ceiling and then come back down into that tall plank. Now this is similar to the side plank, but you're starting in that tall plank position rather than starting in that side plank. So slightly different, but still requiring more activation from your obliques. The last and final exercise that we're going to go over is a lunge with rotation. Now, this exercise is one that you're probably not going to be using quite as much weight with the legs as you could because we are adding in this rotation. So just keep that in mind when you are doing this. This is not something that I would consider a heavy leg exercise, but you are getting the stability through your core, including your obliques, and as well you're getting your leg stabilizers and all the way down through the ankle involved as well. So with this, you're going to have the plate, or you could use a kettlebell, dumbbell, really any type of weight in front of you. You can either do a front lunge or a reverse lunge, and you're going to step into it, rotate toward that working leg in front, and come back together. So again, we want to make sure that we're keeping the leg out in front, the knee is in line with the second and third toes, rotating, come back to center and in. Why this is even more taxing is that you're not only having to rotate toward that side using your obliques, but we're also having to stabilize through that front leg to make sure that the knee isn't rotating with us and we start to get twisted. As you can see, I was starting to already fall there. So you want to make sure that that knee stays stable by using your hips as well to stabilize and then rotate, getting into your obliques here. So those are just 4 different exercises that you can do and have in your program in order to make sure that you're getting some type of rotation in and not only doing just anti-rotation or prone or supine positions for your core. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments below. Otherwise, be sure to like, subscribe, and then we'll see you in the next one.